Hello everybody, welcome to another Kana vlog. Once again, I'm Kanamanga, and today we're going to be doing the Crunchyroll sneak preview night again. The Crunchyroll sneak preview night, for those of you guys who may not know or who are brand new to the channel, essentially is Crunchyroll's way of announcing its next season's lineup by giving us a couple of screenings of the first episodes of some of those shows that they are planning to release. Now, the thing that has happened in the past, they have released the list of like the series that we're going to go ahead and see, but this time around it is kind of the opposite. We only know about 3 of the shows that are going to be shown, and some of them I don't even know. First of all, we have 2 season 2s, which in my previous critique, I've been really critical about having season 2s in the Crunchyroll sneak preview night, only because people who don't know the series can't really latch to the characters, and they don't know really what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the season 2s, and then we'll get into the one that I'm kind of interested in seeing. So the first one is Clevatess season 2. I know that it's a really popular show amongst the fantasy realm fans, so go ahead and hop into that one. The other one is Skeleton Knight in Another World. I've never heard of this series before, but that is getting a 2nd season, and that's also going to be at this sneak preview night. So the last one that was on the list is actually one that I was super excited for. I actually mentioned it in the best series of 2026 video. It's hit or miss so far, but if you guys want to check it out, it's right over here. But the show that I'm interested in seeing is Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. It is a Yuri fighting game, kind of like school life series, and I'm super excited to go ahead and see it now that it's sponsored by Capcom as well. So all the fighting scenes are replaced with footage from Street Fighter 6. So I'm excited to kind of see how they blend that in, especially with the whole storyline. Obviously a lot of the original characters that they made for the Iron Senpai series that was in the original manga is actually translated from Street Fighter. So it's just really cool to have that little bridge now. It's more authentic to a true fighting game by actually having an actual fighting game in there. Usually in these sneak preview nights, they give us 6 shows. And right now we only have a lineup of 3. So that means that 3 of them are pretty much under the radar, off the table. We just don't know what's going to be coming to us. Now, the thing that I do want to point out here is that there are some series that I am looking forward to this summer that haven't been announced by anybody, and we don't know whether or not they actually got the rights to it. So 3 shows that I wouldn't be mad if they happen to show me. The first is World is Dancing. That is one that I'm kind of interested in. It's done by Side Pictures, and I kind of like the vibe of that one. The other one is Jagudar, which is kind of a bigger show that has been picking up a lot of steam and traction. It's also done by Science Saru, who is the company behind Dandadan right now, and Scott Pilgrim Takes the World. I think that's the anime one. That's what it's called, I think. And then the last one is kind of the big one amongst the shonen fans, which is Black Torch. So I'm super excited to kind of see which ones they are going to bring to here. If those happen to be in the lineup, I wouldn't be disappointed, but a lot of the season 2s that they are bringing over may feel disappointing for people who are trying to get hooked onto the series. So that is going to be the recap of what's going to be going down in this video. We're essentially going to be going to the theaters and watching a bunch of episode 1s. We got to go ahead and pick up some friends. We got to go ahead and drive out to the theater, and we'll go ahead and see you guys there. Okay, I'm not gonna lie about this. I'm gonna be straightforward with y'all. It's been about 4 days since I actually went to the theaters, but it's only because I started my full-time job, and it starts from 8:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. And yeah, it takes me a long time to really find the energy to actually record this, but today's my Friday, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the Crunchyroll sneak preview event for the summer season. Let me go ahead and grab my notes. So the first thing, they opened up with an episode of Bananya, which if you guys don't know about Bananya, get on it. It's literally a banana cat. It's a cat and a banana, okay? And then there's different versions of Bananya. Nothing deep, it's just fun, okay? So Bananya. The first full thing that they showed us was the Exiled Heavy Knight knows how to game the system. This is a season of kind of an isekai. I wouldn't say it's not even an isekai. It actually, you know what it is? Well, is it technically? I don't know. Technically it's an isekai, but they didn't really like show the beginning part. They just kind of said like, oh, I remember this from a certain timeline. I was like, So this series is done by a company called Gohands, and according to my friend who actually watches a little bit more anime than I do per season, he said like Gohands is one of those studios that like shoots the most ridiculous angles just because they can and because they know that they can computer generate it to make it look like that. And that really did show here. There's just like some random angles, and it's not necessarily serving the story, but I guess it's just like flashy for the sake of being flashy. So the plot overall is mostly Shield Hero-like, where it's like a person gets like the lowest class, they're kind of exiled from everything, they have to grind their way back to the top and try to prove their way through. That's the Exiled Heavy Knight knows how to game the system. That is the full name of the thing. I'm not making this up. Okay, going from one ridiculously long name series to another ridiculously long name series, we have Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. Now, this is a series that I'm personally a fan of. I can even prove it to you. Look at this. Ta-da, we have the manga. We've had the manga. I've actually been a fan of this series because one, it's like about fighting games. It's actually pretty interesting. And two, it's like low-key a pretty funny series. So I'm glad that my friends actually enjoyed this. A lot of them said that this was their favorite series, but for those of you guys who don't know, the thing that is different from the manga to the anime is that the manga didn't have an official fighting game that it was following, but the anime actually got the rights to Street Fighter 6. So Capcom actually provided all of the fighting game footage for this series, and it really does show how much they care about the FGC part of it, or the fighting game competitive side of it. I'm super excited to see how people are actually going to pick this up. It's one of my personal favorite ones from the season, so super excited to go ahead and get a sneak peek of it, obviously, from this event. So these next two shows that I'm about to talk about are actually season 2s, but they're from series that I didn't watch ahead of time, so I'm going into it completely blind. If you guys happen to see any of these and have a different opinion on it, please let me know, but here it is, okay? So the first one that we saw was called Skeleton Knight in Another World Season 2. Honestly, this was more of a pretty like funny fantasy series. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as Konosuba, but it has the whole parody of like big strong armor guy is actually a skeleton knight. Skeleton knights are spooky to random people, but he encounters and is joined by other people who are outcasts of their own society to essentially create a band of like goofy yet good like mercenaries or like adventurers. That's probably the best term. Yeah, that's kind of all I have for notes on that because I didn't watch season 1. I'm sorry, uncultured fan here. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next one was Clevatess. That's what I have written here. Clevatess season 2. I did not follow season 1. I did not watch or read season 1 at all, so I'm going into it completely blind. Here's just my personal take. I think that it's gonna be interesting. They put like the Slay the Spire thing right in the middle. I don't know why, but I don't know the plot. So overall, I think like them explaining like, oh, this is gonna be a place where like different factions are all gonna like hang out and it could cause conflict and like people are like doing X, Y, and Z behind the scenes. It's kind of interesting, but I would probably have to watch season 1 to actually understand the scope of it. Overall, like, I just thought it was just okay for me, but I bet if you enjoyed season 1 of Clevatess, you would probably enjoy season 2, and this is probably like a really good like sneak peek. But I don't know anything. So sorry, can't really help you there, but I'm being honest here. Okay. So overall, those are my impressions of the shows that we did see in the sneak preview, but I do have a couple of things on my future wish list that I hope Crunchyroll does pick up on. And also I will be sending this out to you guys, also the Anime Effect, love your stuff, but we're gonna try to like wrap this up and make it into something a little bit more cohesive for you. First thing that just kind of irked me a little bit is to shoot the intros kind of solo and talk directly to the camera. That way you're addressing the audience, who is me. I understand that you want to keep it kind of like in that podcast format where you have everybody kind of chiming in. I wouldn't mind if you actually took a little bit of time to debrief after the show. Like essentially have one person explain the plot directly to camera, like, hi, I'm Kanamanga. Here's the show that we're gonna show you, right? And then after the show finishes, have everybody have like a certain like little bit of time to debrief the show That way, we also get a moment to breathe and say, okay, this is the end of that show. We can move on into the next one, but we could also get a little bit of like input from the hosts themselves, get them to show a little bit of personality. That's just me personally, but I understand like if you guys have a certain runtime that you have to keep to, that's totally fine. So the second thing that actually irked me is just a small little nitty bitty like detail thing. Release the full summer lineup at the end of sneak preview night. Now I understand that it does go live at literally the end of sneak preview night, but we also want to be able to like understand what shows you guys are gonna have, even if you don't have an episode 1. I do think that that would help. So a few shows that Crunchyroll actually got the rights to that I wish were in the sneak preview are actually here, and I wrote them down. So there's actually 3 of them that I actually marked down, and I think that it would have really benefited from them to showcase this, or if they had the rights to go ahead and get the first episode, to go ahead and show this. So Black Torch, number 1. I do think that people are going to hype it up because obviously it's only 5 volumes, but it's also like completed, so to say, it finished. But Black Torch as the shonen of the season, I think if you got that first like episode in, people would be more inclined to watch it. Cool. Number 2, Jagudar. Now it's not just because it's done by Science Saru, who does Dandadan, but also it's a series that I am kind of interested in, not only just for the animation style, but the overall plot and story, which I'm going into it completely blind, but a lot of people say it's a really solid series, and I'm actually willing to take their word for it. And the last one that I have on this list is actually one that they kind of released mini episodes for already, which is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. And I know that Crunchyroll actually has the rights for it because they released 12 mini episodes on it. So they're out. I also don't know if that is the entire series or the entire season. It's just done in mini episodes, or if this is kind of like a precursor before we actually hop into the real story. But honestly, I like the mini format. I think it's solid. But if they happen to make more episodes to follow it up, I think it would be really cool. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 real gripes that I have about the Crunchyroll sneak preview night. 1 is still getting to know the hosts a little bit more and being able to give people a little bit of time to breathe. And 2, to get some of these more big name, especially season 1 series, out there to the public. I think that those 2 things are super important in order to, 1, get anime fans who are kind of new or may not know about what's going to the theaters or what's coming to the anime season to actually get interested in the season. But also I understand from a legal standpoint or from like a logistics standpoint, if you can't happen to get it right now, how would you be able to show it? So that is going to wrap it up for the Crunchyroll sneak preview night for the summer of 2026. First of all, let me know if you guys actually like this format. I don't even know if I should keep doing this, especially on this channel, or if it should just go back to the second channel. Let me know down below, just say like, we want the fall season of 2026. Let me know down below if you actually do. 2, if you guys really did enjoy this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Be able to share it with your friends, and especially get them hyped heading into the summer season. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to read more manga. We'll see you guys on the next one.